Oof. All right, let's try to get. I want my camera there. All right. Make sure we are coming in all right with sound. Turn the music down a little bit. I accidentally deleted the link for this, so now I have to go and repost a bunch of places. So please apologize as I'm getting this to the 0 people watching right now. Oop. All right. Let's see. I think I know who's here. Welcome, people. Our channels. And fix that. Welcome, one viewer. Where are you tuning from? Tuning in directly from the Arkio world. Probably need to fix some things. Yeah, so I was trying to use OBS this time around to post our stream of using StreamYard, but it is a pain because I just accidentally closed the stream without, I double clicked. So yeah, it is the life. Let's see. Audio sound all right? You need to join, just creeping. Let's see, good audio. We got the one person here. Changing links to act like I didn't break it. And then I think I'm just gonna it's time to just say la vie. We are going to go with what we have today. So, all right. Well, I thought today would be kind of cool to show some of the work that was coming up in the previous stream or in the design challenge. So I'm going to actually start to just kind of share. Let's see, one of the applications. Spoof. Oh no. There we are. How's that look? Yeah, there we go. Oh no. Oh, I see. There we go. That's better. All right. Being aware. Audio's crystal. Thank you. All right. So I'm pretty pumped. So recently we just had a little bit of a fun design challenge where we had some people kind of design these paths that went from here to there. And that was the name of the design challenge. And I thought this is, a fun one to really start with because you can get right into the process of just moving from one spot to the next. Rope, man. We got a man in the building. This is great. All right. And we'll actually show a little bit of this. But so what's kind of cool about these process, about these steps here is that realistically, what we're trying to just get people to do is think not about architecture, not about any of the design like buzzwords that we throw in here. It's really just like a simple like line, and it allows people to kind of just move throughout one connection. And I really like this because it's, like you don't have to think architecturally about this. You can think like landscape. You can think just as like a game. And it's really great to see how people go. And it was funny, like making this model. I felt like after seeing it, it kind of like in a way looks like a whale. I don't know, maybe it's just like this eye. But let's see. For the people, I see a couple of people floating in. Let's see. But for the people floating in, if you have any ideas on the design challenges, definitely feel free to drop things in the comments. I'll keep looking at those. And we're going to be announcing like a new challenge. And, I have a couple ideas, but I think the couple of community members really spoke up, and there was some excellent opportunities there that I wanted to kind of touch on for I don't know, future competitions. So what I thought I'd do today is we'll just show a little bit about like some of this work that the people that were selected submitted, and just highlight some of the details because I think they're really nice. So it's nothing crazy. I'm actually not, I think today I really don't, I might put the headset on. It's here. I'm trying out some new audio things, and I'm trying to keep the stream more focused. So, and after hearing my voice talk a bunch in the past on different things, it's whatever. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be a fun one. So yeah. So, right. We don't have to talk about any of these things. I feel like I want to keep subtracting more from the site. I feel like this was people mostly, even myself, like just totally disregarded the whole site. So I'm actually going to show just how that process of setting this model up kind of goes. So if you were to start a fresh scene in Arkio, we can just go here, create a new one. I am looking at it from the desktop version. For people that are kind of curious, it's very nice to kind of work between devices with Arkio. Like sometimes you have a lot of things on your desktop, sometimes you have things on your headset. So sometimes it's quite nice to just look at things from the desktop view to get things set up. So I tend to do that a lot here. So here, if we have a fresh new scene, I think I showed this last time in OpenStudio. If you go to imports, you'll see all the, if once you have the model imported from the cloud, I personally had it set up from the cloud. You can just go into the site and you'll get a little kind of this like really strange sample thumbnail here, but you'll be able to kind of control where it gets placed. So we're going to do lock at origin. And this is a tricky one, like, because a lot of people mix this up, and this is like the typical design thing. Actually, you know what? I get really annoyed with the audio, like the music coming in sometimes. So hold on, let me I'm going to turn that tune down. It's barely coming through. It's just more of my headphones. Okay. I'm dependent on the Solid 3 right now to let me know how crispy crystal my audio is, because this is all new to me, and I could probably sound like a clown trying to jump out of a pool. Never heard that before, so I don't know what that actually sounds like. So okay, let's go back to the subject. So locked at origin and place this object. So it's like two different commands. So when you import in a model into Arkio, you kind of have, it's more than just like a static import, because it has a little bit of understanding of like, how many times it's been imported. So you have like iterations. So if, you have any classic like save as moments, you can select what version is within this piece here. Oh, geez, I should move my camera. You guys can't see much. So you guys, listen, all three of you, I need you to help me out here more. Let's edit the layout, shebang, put myself here. Yeah, I'm into it. Okay. And then, yeah, that's fine, right? No, that's cool. That's cool. It's cool. I think I need to change the color of my wall because, oh, wait. Yeah, there we go. I think I need to change the color of the wall because it looks too much like the floor of the box here. I can change that. Okay, so going back to this here. So now that we can see what the hell I'm talking about, basically in the import section here, like we have some information that's coming in that helps you kind of understand what your model is made out of. So again, we're counting triangles. So usually that helps you get a good sense of how heavy the file is. And then we are able, when you import things, right, the units are typically recorded in whatever you exported it from, and we can make sure that when we're reading it in, that it converts to, like the units you're setting here are what we should expect your import is coming in as. So this model was set up in meters, so we're going to import the model. We're going to set its units to meters, so we deal with it, scale it in. And then placement is a bit of your origin location. So if you have, like when you export a model out of Rhino, you could have your origin location, at the very bottom, at the very top, like at the top. It's kind of up to you, and this gives you a little bit of flexibility. To me, I always place my origin. You know what, guys? Wait, ready? Shebang. We're gonna do some sketch sessions here. I always like place my, this is nice. You know what? Okay, wait. We can improve this. I like this idea. Okay, wait. All right, here we are. I'm gonna make a little, I love this. Okay, wait, it's a great idea. Not too many times I get good ideas. Okay, bang, done. Okay, this is my whiteboard. And then what I'm gonna do is then add a new view, modify and say, whiteboard. I don't know if it saves orientation though. Okay, cool. I should show Alex this for pinning. Okay, so we have this here, and the idea, okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So whenever I think about doing this type of, like, whenever I export a model, let's say you just have some sort of thing here, your origin, usually, like, people tend to think about it from this location. Like a lot of people think about it from the corner here, your bottom left. A lot of that's typically in like the architectural world, or a lot of people like to have it centered within the bounds of the box here. So, if this was a full square, usually like maybe that is your origin location. So when we go back to import something in from Arkio, and we think about this like placement thing, this placement's really just telling us where this red line is going to be. So if it's bottom, it's going to be here. If it's centered, it's here. If it's origin, it's wherever it's going to be just wherever your origin point was. So this is kind of like, this is two ways of using it. Like if you have an origin point that you like, you can go with that. If you want to use the bounding box of your model, that's the better way too. So it's kind of two different tactics here. Okay, so I like this little whiteboard feature. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. That's like a good OpenStudio thing. Okay, so the last thing here is locked at origin and places object. All right, super interesting content here. So locked at origin, what that's doing is it's going to put the model in place and make it as something that's just, it's locked at its like current location where its placement is. So let's say if I was to go in here and say place as object, you'll see that I can move things around, and I can actually, move, edit the surface and stuff like this. So, that actually looks so much better. Damn. I feel like this is the equivalent of like rotating your model above your head, Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then, so if we go back to this here and we do locked at origin, you'll see that the model just sits there and it doesn't really do anything. You can try to edit it. You see it won't highlight. You can try to move it. It won't move. You can delete it. So this is really nice when you have something that that you set up in origin properly, and then you want to export out. So I don't know. That's the good way to first start it. So I guess that was the one thing I just wanted to, talk on, just to show, okay, people set up the model like this. And then for me, I started doing a little bit of work myself, trying to like cook up my own. Definitely needed a lot more time. But what I like to do once I had the model in here, I was able to actually start to kind of bring in my references. So I'll do a little section tool here. Spoof. So here's my little funky model. So I really like the Blade Runner scene. Just some of that architecture, of course, like super nice to very minimalistic people. And I knew it was going to be kind of to benefit of using Arkio, because a lot of that geometry is really clean and like not a lot of like a crazy like parametric shapes. So what I was doing was I first brought the model in, and I feel like everyone did this. They like tossed out the site. They didn't really care about it, and I did it too. So I was like, I gotta reduce the site down. So what I like to do is I actually will start to bring in like these models here. I'll bring in these assets from the cloud just to import something in and have as like a reference, because it gives you a lot of directionality. And then for me, what I was doing was kind of working on this like hallway path that kind of comes down to this area here. So I really liked trying to think about this design that, I don't know, this isn't the most recent because it's not on my headset, but I was thinking about this and through the staircase section, and I thought that was cool. And I should finish it, but let's see. Then what's nice is seeing it in section, because that's how I was designing it. And this is something I was talking about with a couple of other Arkio users, is like a lot of times when you go into the model, people tend to like design from a certain scale and perspective. It's kind of difficult to like visualize here in like a desktop view. But when someone's floating around at a different scale, whether they're, like at 1 to 20 here, or 1 to 1, or 1 to 100, they're kind of having this impact of like how much detail they can handle there. And I really like this idea of like kind of seeing how people first start to design their space out at what perspective and like, angle. It really helps, like, I don't know, puts an impact on it. So if you guys have any questions, I see a couple of people floating in and out. Welcome. This is a little bit of an impromptu Open Studio with some technical bugs in the beginning. If you have any questions on the design challenge stuff, that's what we're looking at here. So feel free to ask. So yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna stop showing mine, because honestly, it's not cool to see a half-finished idea. So I want to actually start with So Jin, he shared his model yesterday, and I was looking through this, and it was cool to see his submission too. I wish I could. Maybe I need to also pull up the submission. Yeah, let me do that. Oop. This is kind of the bummer here, is I wish I could. Yeah, I'll just, you know what? I'll risk it for the biscuit. We'll do the whole screen here. We're dancing. Hopefully no stupid messages. Fingers crossed. Okay. So here you are. Nope. Where do you go? Yes, Stormgate's doing great. We got everything coming through. Cool. Boop. Okay. So Jin, like what I liked about Jin's when he brought his in was that I think I just started getting really intrigued with like seeing where these cubes were leading me. Like it kind of felt like I was watching what was like the equivalent of any of my Tetris matches. And I think what's really cool is like typically in like any design visualization, there's like a lot of atmosphere and style that's like, kind of requested from anyone that submits these things. And I feel like when I see someone take a model outside of the typical like rendered format, it really helps like give it a much more like a much more stronger atmosphere. So I really like seeing this like day to night, it's like, it really kind of shows the same form in different ways. Yeah. And I think what I wanted to do first was like, I wanted to understand where this path was going. Like, it saw the stairs, and I'm kind of curious to ask him like how did he like make the green paths and then start to like make the stairs in between? I thought those were really cool. This is an interesting detail too that he posted. If you see here, he has like a spatial link. And I've seen spatial before, and I've used it a little bit. It's like very gamified way of like experiencing the design space. Oh, hey Claudia, what's up, people? And so I think this was kind of like this super cool like way of seeing like another atmosphere and like a bit more of the presence in these spaces, because that's something too that's tricky when you start to get in these immersive areas. Like we're so used to kind of framing a perspective from the human eye that when you start to play with scale and like kind of view and distorting that, it gets tricky. But I really like this. So let's take a look at his model now. So oh, super nice. I feel like this was like what Arkio was like the basic form of Arkio is like made for, is these like nice cubes. Let's see, hold on, can I poke at some? Let's see what the yeah, single cubes. It's cool. Let's see. Like this little like corner down here, and then let's see, was there view set up? No. These like pathways, I think this was kind of cool to see like how the array tool is happening. And I'm wondering if he did the array or if he like kind of copied this, but I like that. I feel like he like sculpted this and then started to kind of find the pathway that like kind of moved from each side to the other. Whoops. One thing Jin shared with us on the channel was that this helped him get motivated to like use Arkio. And I think that's something we're very interested with these challenges, is just seeing more of like what prompts people to keep using immersive design, like like what makes people kind of find the value in this. And because, we have our thoughts and our reflections, but it's good to have the group input. No, man, you sent over, Dro. You cool if I share the challenge, the trophies you made, because that was even better, or not even better, both amazing. But let me know. It was a great thing to see this morning. It's also something too, like I think in a way, like we want to figure out better ways of like sharing these models, because it's great to kind of see people wanting to share this. It was something we've known, and we're trying to figure out a good design and a good implementation into it. But I really like that just the community right now is able to kind of figure out the ways of like, hey, I'll share a cloud with a model with you this way. So I also want to see the section kind of come down here, because I think this is a model that I feel like when I teleported around it, it was great to kind of explore it. But I almost feel like these are kind of the times where, in a way, like when I first went through this, I was like, oh, this is great. Like you're experiencing these pieces. But when I see it from this type of perspective here, where you see like the pathway unfolding, it kind of like shows me the idea. It's like a diagrammatic view of how he was thinking. It's very similar to like how if you do the Breath of the Wild, or was it forget the other one, the Tears of My Stream, but they will show you like the path of travel since you started the game, which is always great, because you just see how like, I don't know, idiotic like you end up moving around. And so that was super cool. Thank you very much, Jen. That was really sweet. So all right, let's swing over. I think we'll actually take a look. Ro, I'm glad you agreed. So Ro, let me pull up your model. So Ro is really cool. Ro was on a heated moment when he first where's my water bottle? I feel like it should be nearby. Let's see if I can find where did you send this, Ro? Beep. Oh, there we are. I need to save these better names. So, all right, bro. I feel like you gotta put like a copyright patent on this like style, this like this pattern you got going, like like brand it the row. I don't know. Somehow we'll figure something out. That'll be great. I don't really know the names of a pattern. I feel like I have a book called Patterns too. But this was cool. Like right after the challenge, I messaged everyone that was selected, and just to give them heads up and start coordinating presents or award presents. This is Christmas. And it was cool. I feel like this was Ro like immediately like didn't even give us a heads up. Just like within probably. Ro, I'm guessing this probably took you negative 25 seconds or something. But you just like went right in there. Went right in there, started modeling these things. And I think this is cool because like I feel like when I first showed this to someone, they were like, "Oh, this is," like I was like, "This is cool." They're like, "Oh, this is like interesting." They made some trophies, but then it's again like this kind of moment where you keep zooming in and you see like the level of detail, and I think that's kind of like, I feel like you have this I feel like you have this level of like continuous detail that's interesting. So it's like that. What was that? The staring eye poster I keep trying to mention. But this was cool. I really like how you were also like bullying out these shapes. Like sometimes I feel like when you're going through this here and you see like when you do a moment where you bully in something out and then it's also on a slant here. These are like these. I feel like sometimes when I go through this, I'm always trying to figure out what comes first, and I think now seeing this, I'm like, oh, I feel like now I'm like, it's definitely, you do the outside form and then you start kind of cutting away, because when you bend and mold these pieces, it starts to like get a little shaky, like that's when this overlap happens. But I think this is nice because this is something we are focusing on in Arkio, is thinking about how all of the relationships of different geometry work. So it's nice, it's cool. And then we have Claudia's piece here. Wow, that's super sweet. So that was Jin's. And then I'm curious, Ro, you'll have to tell me how you painted these, like how you making these in like Photoshop, or you just like, I feel like sometimes I imagine you just like on the road pulling, like ripping up some like collage paper and just making this by hand. Man, this is nice. Sorry, let me know if this is a little annoying to watch too, because I'm trying to be a very steady, but like I don't know if everyone likes, whenever you go through using any of these 3D modeling programs, you always like zoom in and out a bunch like this, and I'm trying not to do that. So I'm trying to be easygoing. Okay. So this is cool. I also, there's like these moments too where I see like the colors really work out. Like I think this whole like combination of the black and green and then the gray, it looks really sharp. And then like I also like how this like earth tone's happening here. I'm very bad with colors. Like I think I always have to stay away from it because I can't find the right balances. So I really admire when people like have a good like grasp of color, color coordination. So all right, let's pull up. Where are we at? 11:30. Flying right through this, guys. I guess we could take a little second. Appreciate this too. Let's go right in here. So what else we got in here? Oof. Sometimes like when I see a lot of the work between like you and Claudia, yeah, exactly. I like mirroring the models. Really nice. Galaxy 22. Wow, on the road, man. I love it. Yeah. So I think overall, like, I kind of forget what I was even talking about. All right, I'm gonna pull up Claudia's. Yeah. All right, let's jump into this. All right. See, okay, I think before we even get into this part here, because I feel like what's nice is, one of the things that I was able to do was share Claudia the model directly from like a meeting, and instead of like just sharing the straight file. And one of the things we talked about was like trying to set up like waypoints, and so this was something I wish we did. Like we, again, went back, kind of cleaned this up to make it ready for this type of, kind of showcasing. But what's nice is that like in Arkio, you can use these like views, and the idea here, no time wasted, baby, efficiency. So the idea here, right, is that Arkio has the ability to do these viewpoints, and that's like any software. This is very important to have. Like we always set up camera views. There's important angles that we're kind of crafting and understanding the piece, and that was kind of what I was trying to do. If you see these like little squares over here, like they were all trying to be these like views that would help you kind of understand where they're coming from. But I actually feel like now that I'm looking at this, I think Claudia actually went back and edited these because I don't think I used capital. So Claudia, very cool. I'm like, shout out to that. I appreciate you guys already like crispifying these models. And so, you know, a lot of times too, like with designers, like we don't really think experientially about our models. Like we think much more around like the like how things align, how the model's being built. It's because we're like, you know, we're coming at this from a built world perspective. Like we're trying to get the model to work this way. But there's also a lot of times when before that even happens where we think about things experientially. Like we sketch things out, we design it. And so I feel like this is kind of this cool moment where like you are bringing in the technicality of modeling and the digital side, but you're kind of creating experience. And within that, you also kind of have to think about other people experience it, because it's very different for one person to model this out and then guide someone through. But then how do you tell other people how to like not how to experience something, but guide them so they know where to go? And so with the, you know, with these review items here, with the review points, like what's nice is that if you think about like if you were to come here and explore this model, you're able to kind of get an understanding of the pathway, and you can move at your own free will. And like, but you also have a little bit of help and guidance from the creator. So I think this is kind of an important piece here that like we really like, and that we're trying to, you know, approach with an understanding of how we make this a little bit more like embedded in the model sharing process. So all right, but yeah, let's go into it. So I almost like when I started seeing this model, I did like look at it from the start point and moved down and teleported. And I really like, I was just kind of like amazed at these moments here where I was looking at kind of like all the detail that was floating around, like a lot of different elevational changes. And then that's kind of like when I first noticed these like details. And I think this is something like when I like talked one-on-one after like, you know, the sending out the submissions, we're looking at these models. Like I think something that Claudia pointed out was like adding this topography. And that's actually also in one of the starting models that Ryan Allen did. And I think it's the Arkio HQ. It's really sweet. I could pull that up after as well. But they use topography in this way that, like, you know, just by layering it to give you a little bit more sense of scale. And I think that's something that when you see people that do like that model well in Arkio, it's not that they just create like a box, it's that they're creating a really good atmosphere. And I think that's something that designers have really never had to be challenged with when modeling something spatially. It's more or less technicality and like precision. So it's really great to kind of see how you can bring a bit of the digital, like, you know, the digital quality of this early phase of modeling and designing into, you know, this phase space here. So, right. Yes, Pearl, very lovely scene. It's awesome. So let's take actually a look at this. If you take a spot here, I personally like this view one, banger. I really like this like spot here because we're looking at this like nice little like use of the assets being these rocks. That's also like a great thing that people find out is like how you can create a lot of volume with some of the pre-built assets in Arkio. Ro does this a lot too, in some of your like the Cyber City models and stuff like that. Like you'll see a lot of the assets being used for shapes that are hard to achieve with rigid forms. But so I really like, you know, you can see how these hills and mountains work. And also this detail here of like these sticks kind of work in this space. It reminds me a lot of like, it's kind of like around that Lord of the Rings style of like where the, like the Elven town. God, I really hope no like big Lord of the Rings fans ever see this because I'll die. But like even here, like coming in, seeing a bit of like like how this structure is built here, like you can see some of the patterning that happens when you move from having a flat like surface and adding it in here. So you can even see how like when you start to parent and stick things together, how it starts to join. And then I think like what's a lovely touch too is the grass in this space. It helps kind of just like, it gives your eyes a little bit of background detail and it's really nice. So And okay, another good detail, the fountain. I've been seeing people, I think Ro had this in his model as well. I've seen some other students have this this here, and it's really cool. Like I like how people are using, like, it's the glass material. So if you go to architecture, you'll see glass. So what I just did here, if you're in the program, when you go to the paint, that's like your materials palette. And you just want to go to architecture and use glass. And if you actually jump a little bit further down, if you go to like magic, I think these are called magic. I don't know, let's see. I can't tell. It's like magic things or other. You can actually also use like the collider, which is like a yellow one, or no, wait, that's the trigger, which is that's something for Unity. Sorry, triggers for like if you go through, it's kind of like collider, but it's a specific type of thing. And then the collider is like a specific bounding box type of event. So I don't think a lot of people use this in general for the actual designed purpose, but I do like, it's good to kind of see that. So and then another little tip too is you can actually change the surface of what you're painting. So if you just want to do one side, I keep having the paint tool on past everything. If you just want to do one side, you can just switch between this button here and this little section on the side here is kind of like what you would see for your this would be what you would see on your wrist in Arkio. So okay, let's keep poking around in here because there's some cool details. If there's any questions from perfect. Thank you guys for looking that up. What is it called? Rivendell? Oh, Rivendell. I'm going to go with Rivendell because Lothlorien. God, now I want to watch it. Oh, man. Maybe one of these challenge has to be like we have to recreate like a famous movie scene or something, and then we have to all act it out. That'd be great. Like we get our avatars, full production movie. I'll send it to the higher ups. Okay, we're gonna need a poll going for that. Okay, but let's look at some more details. So another thing that I thought was really great to kind of highlight is this way of like layering the two types of models on top of each other. In here you can actually see like there is a kind of this overlap of material. And so if you see like what I'm highlighting here, just to kind of visualize it a little bit more, is that you can see there's like, maybe this would be like a bat of some sort, or just a, like a wood plank, and then these top pieces coming on over here. And so what's nice in this technique is that you're able to actually build out the general mass and the shape, and then keep building additional details on here. And so I think this, again, like adds that little bit of detail that helps these models really have like a rich sense of scale. Because when you zoom back here and it becomes like, when you see something flat, and in general, like if you see something that's flat, it's gonna not have that volumetric feel when you start to kind of angle it and you see tons of flat things behind it. So I think this here starts to kind of help give like such a gentle touch and style to like these Arkio models that are excellent. So and then yeah, like I think one thing that was kind of cool that Claudia kind of put together in the first class that I guess the first time we did this project back when I was teaching at the BAC. It was cool. Like she kind of built this form. It was just a triangle, and it was just like kind of a simple column, like colonnade arch space. But it was kind of like a pattern I've seen repeated, and it's great to kind of see like how, like it's worked on a void here. So you can see if we take this, I wonder if I can actually just spoof, like taking this model out here and seeing this little space, like you can kind of see the level of detail. Like this is the top part here, how it makes like the column, and then connecting it to there. So I thought that's like a really good way to kind of think about making these type of components and how they all layer up together. So and then you just kind of like stick this in and kind of start to decorate that in those areas. And then here, this is cool. I thought this was like a nice way to kind of take that same arch pattern And one thing I was trying to understand was like, wait, is this a raid from something? And it looks like there is like some grouping at the bottom, and then there's some of this like void in between. So I really like kind of seeing that, like when you see it, how these things are grouped and what type of space they make, it has a direct relationship to the design style. So in Claudia, I think so. Okay, when I first like built this, I thought it was going to be super cool to make this like I didn't want to put a bunch of shit in here. Like, oh, I can't say that. No, wait, can I? I don't know. I guess we'll just go with it. We're not monetizing it, so I guess not. So when I was like doing the section of this, which like, I don't know, the section, whenever you see it, it's just very satisfying. It's like yeah, that's not very nice. But so I put this little form back here, and I was actually showing some people at work like this model. I was like, yeah, no, there's a secret path, and I was like, wait, I didn't even see this. I didn't check. And look what's behind here. There's a secret castle. Secret castle. Let's go check this out. Too much fun, huh? It did look like she had a lot of fun making it. It's kind of nice to see like how an atmosphere goes. Like, bro, I feel like this is almost a version of the trophy you made too, you know? It definitely very like gives off very like the like very like kind of like a pastel version of Princess Peach, you know? It's really, I thought that was like nice little space, but it's cool. Like when you see these details, and I want to put the headset on to like even check this out, because it's cool to see like where this comes from. So teleport here. So there was this little secret path. So when you actually go through and see, you get this kind of view. So I think that's like, a lot of times like when designers start to use like these 3D models, like you'll see like with Enscape 2, they do this a lot, where they'll like move the camera frame a ton, and they just try to figure out where the view is, and they're just trying to get the frame of it. You really like, you don't do that a ton in VR. Like you do get the like kind of the vantage points that you would have if you were doing like I don't know, some sort of like what's it called? Like if you were in like, oh my god, it's like a vantage point from a hike. Wow. Hike. That's what I was trying to say. So these vantage points, with the key difference that I find in them is like, it's kind of like when you try to frame a panorama versus a 2D shot. Like the 2D shot has so much more like it's just bound. The panorama is something where you can start to kind of clip where people go, but it is meant to be something that has like full experiential guidance. So I think what's nice is when you get to these moments here like this, you see kind of some of the points where a lot of the design makes sense. And I don't know if this was like a point where someone was designing from, but I like that when I'm able to kind of go through and explore how these designs work, I'm happy to like, it's kind of like something that helps us test it. And that's kind of been the super cool part of like, why do designers use Arkio in this way? Because you could, like, a lot of times people will always say like, oh, why would I use this? I can model this in Rhino, Revit. Like, I know how to do this. And yes, you totally could. But the difference here is that you're not really designing spatially. You're doing things very like, orthographically and sometimes. And so when you work through these times, you're really kind of building together a mass of ideas and like kind of sculpting out your form. And I think it's like, it allows also others to figure out how your model works. And so something I feel like I keep wanting to like pick at is like, how do you share these models? Like you totally could just like, we could figure out a way to like pass the model up to someone and you download it, and that totally makes sense. But like, I think for me, what would be interesting is figuring out also how does, how does someone that puts these up get a little bit of interest towards people visiting their models. Like, do they want to see where they move around? Do they want to see, what was the things people clicked on the most? Like, is there interactions we want to consider? Because it's like one thing for someone to click around and move through it, but there's a lot of ideas and moments, like, some of the stuff that Rose shared during the Arkio live event, that was really excellent. So, I think that's kind of a really excellent piece. So I don't know, I'm really curious if you guys have any thoughts. Of course, share. Oh, look at this. Yeah, we should get a Arkio playlist going. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that'd be fun. I also like the one detail that I thought was really nice was how the water just kept going down. Like, oh, that's very peaceful. Um, sorry. I even forgot to kind of show these fairy people. I was still just admiring the water. Like, that's really nice. But the fairy, the fairy people are great because I think this is a combination of the pen and the 3D and the the pen tool and this asset. So with the pen tool, I don't know if it works in here. Yeah, it doesn't. So in the pen tool, if you're in VR, you can use it three-dimensionally. If you use it here, it's going to be snapping to a single surface like that back there. It's just kind of projecting and hitting a mesh. But when you're in VR, you kind of can create this this very simple like painting style. And I really like it because I've seen people kind of create like vines out of it, or they get like a lot of style into it. And I thought this was like a really nice little touch that made it this like dreamy space in here. Yeah, I guess also, yeah, purple clouds into it. There's a pen. There's a well, it's called the sketch tool. Oh, well, hello, Pearl. Welcome. My name's David. If you've used Arkio before, there's like the typical, create. Oh, geez, wrong. Create. It's like the typical create tools here. So if you were using it in VR, this would be like that swoosh movement you kind of make with your right hand, the first thing. And then there's a tool called Sketch, and so there's no like haptic pen or like input pen that goes with it because it's not really, the devices aren't there. But the sketch tool here is just like a little sketch. And if you look at your bracelet, you can change it to say like freeform or 3D. And if you do that change, you'll be able to move things around and you'll actually draw in 3D. So it's a really cool feature. One thing I would recommend if you do, like Ro, I see you're saying you want to use it. I would recommend doing smaller sketches, because if you do, let's say you wanted to do a detail like this and it goes like down the whole model and then maybe it goes like right there. If you were to then like try to interact with that bounding box of the sketch is going to cover the whole entire thing. So typically I recommend doing like smaller sketches because they act as like, the sketches basically act as like an invisible panel and you just draw on them. So they have like a bounds and things like that. It's surprisingly is a very active tool. So you give it a try, Pearl, and make sure if you haven't joined the Discord channel, I'll put that in the chat. That's really nice too, because there's, we're there and just promoting, look at this, invite people, shaboof, copy, shebang. There you go. So actually, let's look at a couple of ones that were also submitted, because there were some excellent ones here too. I thought the one that Justin submitted here was great. Justin's part of our company with customer success. But I also, like, when I saw this, I was like, damn, I know he has a son. And I'm like, this kind of feels like what I would imagine like when you have like a kid that's just has tons of like sugar and they're running through and like also wanting their Nintendo Switch. And I thought, like, man, this would have been like an epic thing to see as a kid. And I also like this Mario theme, like jumping on the boxes. Like, that would have been really cool to teleport around. Excellent. And then, of course, we didn't get to see Rose there because he left the wrong one for me. Passive aggressive. Don't worry, it's coming in. No, but this was excellent. I thought this was like, when I first saw this, I was like, okay. I asked to make a pathway, and Rose like, what about a trading post? That's a ship. I'm like, yeah, man, of course. Like, that's exactly what we mean here, and I love it. And then we also, let's see, who else we got? Okay, we had Chris. This was cool. I kind of wish there were some more photos, like because there was like, it's hard to kind of understand everything that's going on here. But I did think this was cool. Like I really liked how these stairs were going in these spaces. So, and I feel like I wanted to just get lost into these colors. Like they looked really nice. So Chris, if you're listening, post some more pictures, man. Claudia, we saw. Let's give a little look at the cliff to Carvel. Wow. This, this kind of had that like Donkey Kong, that donkey, like early, like Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong vibe to me, like with I think it's the wood pallets and stuff like that, that are going down here. But I really like this. There was some great detail that I saw in this that really stood out. Like the fact that these, like there's the little grass pieces in there. Oh, damn it. This like little grass detail there, the wood paneling, or not, oh my god, the wood band that goes across the top, the rocks, like these golden pieces here. I would have loved to teleport up of this. And I thought also these like archways that were down at the bottom, these like these yellow ones, these white ones, I thought they looked like a little strange at first from the back. Oh, and it also kind of has like a Lego island type of vibe. But at first I was like, oh, this looks weird. But then when I saw it all together, I was like, damn, that looks like, and like, it kind of looks like the clouds too, like I really like it. And great use of like making the scene feel like the scale that it like consistent in scale and style. That was excellent. And so this was something too we discovered. If you play around with the sketch tool, you can change the thickness and the line type. So you can use like dotted lines or like dashed lines and stuff like that. So really, Akiyoshi, super cool. All right, we got Seaborg. See, this is I also like put it in the clouds. Not a feature in Arkio. We don't have any clouds. Yeah, well, I guess we do. But yeah, this is sweet. I feel like in a way, I feel like this was like seeing the model getting like a laser scan from far away. And yeah, this was it also like the paper clouds. They kind of looked like they did look like crumpled up piece of paper. So super cool. Seaborg's a friend of mine since architecture school. So of course we're going to be a little stupid with each other. All right, what we got? We got 4 minutes left. All right, let's look through these. All right, what we got? Lucian. Yeah. Wow. Wait, hold on. Let me get this. Damn. This kind of feels like if Arkio is able to do like it's like what is that? Inception slash like Squid Games. Like. Maybe it's just like the colors and forms. I really like the windows too. Like those massive windows are really messing with my perspective in here. This is cool. Another great one that I would have loved to seen. Like all of these, I just kind of wish we could put like a community event up, and like everyone shares. Maybe I wanted to do like a beers and models type of thing. I don't know how it would work. But also it's like really difficult to drink with your headset on. So like maybe we all get like straws and drink from a bottle of wine or something. I don't know. Practicality. Or maybe we just drink water. Or we don't drink. That's fine. Okay. So this was cool. Do who? This one's really like, I really like how. Well, okay, first, this is also my partner, so I think I need to be honest that I'm biased in this way. But I know when I was watching her create this, it was really cool to see like how she was moving through the trees, because I think like she's a trained architect as well, and I think it was interesting to see like how she was trying to like move around in these spaces and then like create like kind of let go of the physical constraints and build some really cool virtual stuff. So this was a nice little elevation. I like the idea of hopping around in the treetops and stuff. So she also made this on her birthday. I was really happy and honored. um, yeah, that's cool. The stair tool is a trick because like the stair tool is kind of like not like it works kind of well visually, but it also is like when you teleport around on it, it's really hard, like especially if you go up. So it's something that like it's kind of cool to have that issue now. Like we've heard this before, and it's great to have that now because we're thinking a lot more about like people are having like ergonomics and practicality issues. So it's I don't know, like that's a good question to have. So all right, I think that actually does end the hour perfectly. Let's see if we got any questions. All these projects are amazing, 100%. These were great projects, and it was very honored that we had such a great way to start this challenge off. So, and we're going to get another one going this month. So when that goes, let's see, set a date. They all deserve first place. Claudia, we're not handing out participation trophies, all right? Like, come on, we're moving up. No, maybe we do. Oh, well, I hope people have found this useful. Again, this was Open Studio, so this was just a typical way for us to have something that's more formal, presenting some things, asking some questions from people. Hopefully you guys found this useful and clear. The audio came in all right. And yeah, if you have any ideas for like things that you'd like to see, I'm always taking suggestions. Please, I'm advocating for you guys to join the Discord channel and keep the conversation going and keep a lookout for the upcoming challenge and next live event. So awesome. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.